Yo, what is up, guys? Yeah, PokeaimMD here with some new information on Pokemon Sun and Moon. We have a new English trainer. We have a new English trailer out. I'll actually be linking it down below in the description if you guys want to check it out yourself. But a few new Pokemon have been revealed and a few new abilities. The first Pokemon that we have is Wimpod, the bug and water type Pokemon with the ability Wimp Out. Now, Wimp Out is actually a pretty cool ability. It's very similar to an eject button that when you get hit, you're able to swap out or flee. Now, Wimp Out is a little bit different because Wimp Out, what it does is when you get attacked, when your HP is over or under, excuse me, it's under half or under. Well, actually, read what it says right here. When the Pokemon HP drops below half in battle, it will run away or swap out for another Pokemon. So it's essentially allowing you to get off an attack, seeing what your opponent does, kind of like a U-turn. Whereas, again, we don't know this thing's stats, but it basically lets you get the switch advantage for taking some of your HP. And again, we don't know this thing's stats. According to this, it looked faster than this bug. Not that we know anything about the bug, but it was able to get off an attack. And it'll look like a Pokemon that'll probably be a good scouter, being able to see what your opponent wants to do. Again, its ability is sort of similar to U-turn, whereas you're not actually doing or dishing out damage, but you're able to take damage, and obviously fleeing is something that you can do more than likely in wild battles. That won't be happening in, you know, actual trainer battles or anything like that, but it will give you the switch advantage. You'll be able to switch out into another Pokemon, which is actually super cool. Again, being able to see what your opponent has out and limiting the need for prediction in that turn, whereas you can see, okay, my opponent has out a Talonflame. Not that this thing was probably taking Brave Bird from Talonflame anyway, but let's say you do take Brave Bird from Talonflame or something like that. You can swap out, or if your opponent, how do I say this? Alright, if your opponent goes for the move U-turn or Volt Switch on this Pokemon, and it ends up living. It ends up living, it ends up the half. As your opponent Volt Switches out, you can get the switch advantage, though I'm actually not sure if the ability activates. So that's also not a good, maybe that's not a good example of it. But I can see some use for this. Basically being able just to scout what your opponent has out, what your opponent can do, and being able to swap out, while also being able to dish out and attack that turn, assuming you are faster. Because it just says when your Pokemon's HP goes under half. So I don't think it will let you do the turn if you're slower. You'll actually be able to immediately switch out. So it'll be some sort of pivot Pokemon, which is pretty cool. But again, it did show that this Pokemon was indeed faster than Vikavolt on the field, as you can see right there. So I don't know if that says that this Pokemon's going to be fast. I don't know if it says that Vikavolt's just going to be really slow. I hope no. Oh my god, I want this thing to have no guard, Zap. Obviously it doesn't. With like Mega Horn and things like that. But that's pretty cool for the first Pokemon, Wimpod. Next up we have another Pokemon, and this thing kind of looks like it's Bounsweet. That reminds me of the dude from One Piece. But Bounsweet, the grass type Pokemon with the ability Leaf Guard and Oblivious. Now, it looks like Cherum for me, or Cherubi, excuse me. But there's nothing really too new about its abilities. Oblivious, obviously, meaning you can't be taunted, or as well as confused, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's Own Temple, excuse me. Oblivious meaning you can't be taunted. So maybe this thing will be some sort of support Pokemon, maybe screens. Who knows? How? Maybe it can even set up some sort of hazard that we get in Sun and Moon. But maybe it'll be like some sort of light screen reflect type setter, maybe Safeguard or something, and it just can't be taunted. And Leaf Guard, if I'm not mistaken, you can't be statused under Sun. I'll actually look up the ability right now just because I don't want to be wrong, and I would not like to give out false information. So I'm pretty sure the ability Leaf Guard has to do with status and so on. We don't use that too much in competitive, honestly. Typically, if you're looking for a leaf ability, it's going to be like Chlorophyll or something. A leaf ability. Pokemon prevents Pokemon from receiving status conditions during strong sunlight. Exactly. and obviously Oblivious prevents Pokemon from being infatuated, which is whatever. But because that doesn't matter too much in, I guess, competitive. Typically, you won't see Attract or anything like that. But or the Pokemon can't be taunted. So, and the reason I thought about Old Temple is because Slowpoke obviously gets this ability as well. But yeah, pretty cool. I like its design. It's pure grass type as of now. Not sure what it will evolve into. I think that was Razor Leaf right there. But we have another one, Comfey. This thing looks like the thing that they put around your neck. I forgot what they're called. Oh man, I love Lilo and Stitch too. But a little flower thing that they put around your neck. And it is a fairy type Pokemon with Flower Veil and Triage. Now, or excuse me if I'm pronouncing the ability wrong. But this ability actually gives healing abilities the highest priority. So I don't know if highest actually means like, okay, like just prankster priority, but it says highest. So I'm thinking its ability goes above moves like extreme speed, which makes restorative moves gain the highest priority in battle. So maybe it looks like it's using Synthesis right there. Maybe Morning Sun. That actually looked like Synthesis that I was using versus Drampa. But it looked like it was using Synthesis right there. But if it has priority in healing, that's pretty sick for a mon that might be able to dish out attacks, or you could see something like voice crack right there. You can see something like maybe this mon will be a good support Pokemon. Maybe it can Toxic you, maybe it can taunt you, and then it'll just be able to always get off that that Synthesis, that recovery. Maybe it'll have Recover as well. Who knows? Who actually knows? I can see Synthesis though. I'm pretty sure that was Synthesis being used on the field. I mean, it's a flower Pokemon. Flower Veil, I think that benefits the Pokemon next to you. I think that's more of like a VGC type of ability. Prevents lowering of allied grass type Pokemon stats. Yeah. So, I don't think that'll have much use in singles in competitive. Or who knows what else. Maybe there'll be like some crazy grass type Pokemon for VGC that you could use this alongside. Though I would think you'd use the Triage ability. Again, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, or Triage ability. Maybe Triage is how it's pronounced. Who knows? But giving you that priority healing, this could be a pretty decent support Pokemon. It's called Comfey. It actually looks comfy. I like how it looks. So, we have another Pokemon coming out, and it's a horse. It is a horse. We have Mudsdale, the horse. The ground type horse with the ability Own Tempo, which means that it cannot be confused. And Stamina, which is a new ability. Why does this thing look like Jam-Bad? Stamina, which is a new ability, and it raises your defense when you're being hit with a contact move. And we'll actually confirm that right now on Cerebi. But Stamina, which increases the Pokemon's defense by 1 when it's hit by an attack. Okay, not necessarily a contact move, but just by an attack. So, the more this Pokemon takes damage, the more its defense raises. It's kind of like how Rage, the more you use it, the more it gets stronger and stronger and your attack goes up. But, you can see it just got hit right there. And Stamina raised its defense. So, it's a ground type Pokemon. So, look at this. Like, hoof kick. I have no idea what move that is right there, but it looked like a hoof kick. And I'm going to call it that. And this could be pretty decent, especially if it's a really, really solid offensive Pokemon with a lot of HP. Because they're Pokemon like that that have a ton of HP but aren't necessarily the bulkiest Pokemon. But then they could take hits because of that high HP stat. And if they give this thing recovery, then being able to come back and just dish out strong hits while being able to take the hits. I'm not too sure how much Own Tempo will be used over that. Honestly, I don't see a drawback in having an ability that raises your defense as you get attacked. Being able to deal with priority moves. It's ground type, so it's not weak to Talonflame's Brave Bird, or it's not super effective versus Talonflame. As in, Talonflame's move is not super effective versus Mudsdale. But we got a horse Pokemon. Pretty sick. I like the other horse Pokemon we have, of course, like Ponyta, Rapidash. But That's pretty sick. And I think we have MIMIKYU's English name, which is MIMIKYU, with the ability to disguise. And we have some sort of clarification on disguise. Disguise is actually like a one-time substitute type of thing. As you'll see in a second, MIMIKYU is about to take the hit. As you see, its disguise is faced up right now, right? So MIMIKYU is about to take this maybe bite, crunch, whatever that was, and its disguise activates. Its disguise served as a decoy, and it fades. So it's kind of like a substitute, an automatic substitute when you're being sent out. We'll go to the abilities right here on Cerebi.net just to further clarify, maybe word it better. But that's a really, really sick ability, especially for a Pokemon with insane defensive and offensive typing. It is only weak to 2 types. So Disguise allows the Pokemon to escape damage from any attack just one time, and then its appearance changes. So again, it's like a substitute without having to sacrifice your HP, without having to go for substitute. And it's one-time thing, so I'm not sure if it's whenever this Pokemon's out in the field. Like whenever you swap it in and swap it out, it changes. But then its disguise changes and then it falls. So that substitute fades, as you can see, some type of like thing. But I'm pretty sure it's just one time in battle. But who knows? Maybe when you withdraw it and swap it out again, or you call the Pokemon back and then send it out again, maybe you have your disguise back up. Who knows? I kind of doubt it's like that. But for a Pokemon that's Ghost and Fairy with already amazing offensive and defensive typing, this is a sick ability, and I'm really hoping that this Mon gets some cool stats, or maybe some type of evolution that also keeps Disguise. But last but not least, we have the English name, which is BEWEAR of this Pokemon. BEWEAR. And we actually have some clarification on the ability Klutz. What Klutz, or Fluffy, excuse me, we know what Klutz does. What Fluffy does is halves the damage taken from attacks that make direct contact, but in return it also doubles the damage taken from fire type moves. So it's sharing that dry skin ability, being able to take more from fire type moves, but obviously not getting the recovery. But it halves the damage taken from attacks that make direct contact. This thing is a normal and fighting type. Normal types are already known for being fat, for having a good amount of HP. So I would definitely trade being weak to fire type attacks and being able to take half the damage from contact moves. As you can see, this thing looks sick. I think this is Hammer that's using on Pangoro right here. We're about to see. I think that's Hammer. If that is Hammer, look how cool they made that. Oh my god, look at this. This Pangoro never stood a chance. Look at this. Bam. I gotta look at it again. Bam. That looks like Hammer. And then we have some information about doing your own battles and the global link, which doesn't really interest me too much, maybe for some fun. But we also have Hyper Training, which is, I think, very similar to Super Training, whereas your Pokemon, even when it's level 100, you can see there's a level 100 Pikachu right here, you can still level up your stats and EV train them and things like that. So, who has Agility, Wild Charge, Light Screen, and Thunder on their Pikachu? What are you doing, bro? Pikachu looks cute, though. I love how it's bouncing around. That's pretty cool for like EV training and things like that. With Hyper Training, Pokemon that grow to level 100 will be able to increase their individual strengths, which have never been possible. Individual strengths. Hold up. IVs. Hold up. It says IV. Individual strengths. Maybe that's your IVs? Is that actually your IVs or individual strengths? Because the individual values, it's not effort values. It says individual strength. So is that actually your IVs? Will you actually be able to look at Hyper Training? While Hyper Training Pokemon have grown to level 100 will be able to continue, which has never been possible before. You can use a shop. This can be done if your Pokemon has reached level 100. Yes! A new item in order to increase the IVs of your Pokemon. So I can have a level 100 Pokemon, and someone gives me like, okay, they give me like an imperfect, maybe like an imperfect legendary. I can level it up. Look at this. They're all 31. Hyper Training appears to be located in one part of the Alola region. Here you can visit the shop and exchange bottle caps. Bottle caps. What is wrong with me? A new item in order to increase the IVs of your Pokemon. This can only be done if your Pokemon has reached level 100. And it looks like all the stats have been increased. That is so cool. We can increase the IVs of our poke. Oh my god, that actually helps for a lot of people, especially because a lot of people like to Pokegen or whatever. But that is so sick, being able to increase the IVs. I thought, why did I say effort values? But IVs, individual values of your Pokemon. Okay, that's incredibly cool for competitive Pokemon. But I am so hyped. Guys, tell me what you think down below. Bunch of new Pokemon, some cool new abilities, and then this. So, yeah, I'll see you guys later. I, of course, am PokeaimMD. Feel free to subscribe for more competitive Pokemon, and definitely Sun and Moon stuff when it comes out. So, later, guys.